What is up, people? Welcome back to the Slipping Dead Podcast, episode number 25, Preparation and Dedication. We got a special guest with us today, Mr. Trevor Wittman, trainer of Rosenama Units, getting ready to take on Miss Johanna Jędrzejczyk, Joanna champion.
JJ!
I am Matthew Wells, alongside, across the room from me, as always, Kendrick Johnson. Kendrick, what's happening?
What's up, man? Get ready to get in the NYC State of Mind, man. I'm getting pumped to close to this pay-per-view go. It's going to be a crazy week this week, but because as you know, going to fights, the week before the fight is as crazy as the week of the fight if you're really doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, man, that's where all the news is. You know, it's...
Yeah, so I'm literally getting right down the ground, like, no more man for 2 weeks and nothing but working and going to this gym. Yeah. That is it for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, man, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So, like I said, we got Trevor Wittman on the show with us this week.
6 weeks in a row with a guest.
He's going to talk a lot about Rose, a lot about Justin Gaethje, a little bit about his equipment company, and all that good stuff. That interview will be coming up in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to talk about what we had go down inside the cage this past week. So, UFC took its show to Poland, to Gdansk, is one of the many pronunciations I've heard. So I'm going to go with Gdansk because that's how they were pronouncing it on the broadcast. But Donald Cerrone in the main event against Darren Till. I told you, I tried to tell you, Darren Till, you gotta always be concerned about the guys that are long and rangy and understand how to use their length and their range. And that's what we're seeing in Darren Till. And as he just smothered Donald Cerrone, he walked him down, stalked him, didn't let him get anything off. You know, but on the flip side, at the same time, as good as Darren Till looked, there was a little bit something that looked off with Donald Cerrone. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think being in so many wars, that stuff's going to catch up with you sooner or later, and we're starting to see sooner here rather than later. I think that it's the end. It's been noticeable the last couple fights. It's just these wars. I keep telling everybody, getting hit's not cool. And now we see the effects of getting hit time and time after again. Yeah,
man. It's, you know, the shocking thing for me, I mean, there's a 10-year difference between these two guys. So, you know, even in the build-up to the fight, Donald was like, I've got more fight performance bonuses than you have fights. You know what I'm saying? And, like, as I'm sitting here, like,
when they're saying, thing.
Like, yeah, I'm thinking, like, it's good to have so much more experience, but at the same time, there's a point where that experience is not a good thing. Because that means you're old. That means you're slower. That means your reaction time's not as good. That means you're not, maybe not as hungry to get, you know, to the top of the level anymore. Whereas you got a guy like Darren Till, who's 10 years younger, who's out there saying, I'm the best fighter in the world. Y'all just don't know it yet. You're going to see it.
Strongly disagree, but the age thing make a big difference.
Yeah.
I told you, it's a young man's game, and dudes in his prime, I like to see him and Justin Gaethje fight. I know it's different weight classes, but that'd be a good tight fight.
Yeah, different weight classes.
If you catch him at a catch weight.
Darren Till is literally, like, he said it after the fight, like, the dude's huge. He's really a light heavyweight who's fighting at 170.
Oh, so he's way bigger than Gaethje.
He's way bigger than, like, he's huge, man. And he's going to be a problem for that division for a while. And I think the main thing is that he's just so patient. He has the length, he has the range, and he understands, like, not to overexert himself. So, you know, we'll see his next challenge. I mean, that Donald Cerrone was ranked number 6 going into the fight. We'll see where that puts him in the rankings. We'll see if Darren cracks the rankings now. You know,
he should be top 15, not top 10, but top 15.
Possibly.
Because, yeah, Cowboys ranked 6, but then the day Cowboys come off for 2 losses. So
make it third in a row, yeah.
So I can't put you in top 10 for that, but he should definitely be ranked. But I think he needs somebody 7 to 10, and then we see what's up, and then maybe you can get you a Wonder Boy or one of these fools that Tyrant and dispose of that fought for this belt. That people don't realize how close people talk about Minor Mouse cleaning out the division. He's indirectly cleaning out the division. He just didn't fight him consecutively, like, as a champion, because he fought a lot of them as a contender to get the belt that people see. And the one person that got the loss on his record in the last 5 years is not even with the company anymore. So he's literally beating everybody he can beat. Other than Roy McDonald in the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the division, it's like all of a sudden
he should just take a few months off and let a contender emerge, I think.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're tired, yeah. I mean, there's definitely the whole division is booked right now. Literally, the entire division is booked. That's why we're talking about, where are we gonna go with some of these matchups when you have guys like Usman, who couldn't get a fight against a top 10 opponent.
Now that would be a good fight. Him and Kamaru would be a good fight. Especially if they rank him like 8th or something like that. That'd be Kamaru's top 10. That'd be his. They would be fighting to see who be in that can get that shot to top 5 guy. I think that would be a good fight. But we know UFC don't do fights that make sense.
No, I mean, it's like we saw.
That makes too much sense.
Like Kamaru Usman's next fight got announced this past week, and everybody was like, "Oh, why is he fighting Emil Meek? He's like, he's not ranked and all this stuff." Well, Kamaru's ranked. Emil's not ranked. Yes, I agree. Kamaru does need another higher ranked opponent. He's sitting at 11 right now. But again, you look at the list. Literally everybody else is booked, or they are coming off a loss. And Kamaru's a guy who's been just torching up that ladder. So.
Tell me this.
To give him a guy off a loss doesn't make sense. I'd rather see him fight somebody that's not ranked.
What about Mike Perry?
Mike Perry's booked.
Oh, who's Mike Perry fighting?
He's fighting Ponzinibbio.
Oh, okay.
So everybody else is booked. Or Dong Young Kim's coming off a loss, and Cowboy Oliveira's coming off a loss. I think everybody else is booked.
So is Gunnar Nelson.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, actually, Alex Oliveira is booked. Gunnar Nelson and Dong Young Kim are the two guys that are coming off losses. Everybody else is booked to a fight, so it just doesn't make any sense. But we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out for Darren Till. Also on the night in the co-main, our girl or your girl. I don't know if it's your girl, our girl. Jim Edwards.
No, she's a very sweet lady.
Jim Edwards' girl, Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina. She's a very sweet lady.
Carolina Kovacevic.
She did what she had to do.
That fight played out exactly as I knew it was going to play out, man. Jody's she's like she reminds me of, how do I put this? Like, kind of like, when I'm watching Jody Escobar fight, I immediately think of kind of like a Clay Guida / Frankie Edgar in the way that they're in and out, but they don't really ever...
They don't get tired.
Yeah, they don't get tired. They're durable as all hell. They're in and out with their combinations, and then that's it. It's like you don't see that constant pressure. Like Carolina was pressing forward hard, putting a lot of pressure on her, putting a lot of damage on her. And we saw basically her path to victory was clear after the first round. So, it was just one of those fights that happened. Is there anything else that stood out to you on this fight card, man? I mean, like looking at the prelims, man, Sam Alvey.
All the shadow people should stay as shadows.
All the shadow people should stay as shadows. Man,
they weren't memorable.
Oscar Pichota, he had a pretty good performance against Jonathan Wilson, but for the most part, like Sam Alvey cut 36 pounds, still missed weight, looked absolutely terrible in his performance. It's like
he went smiling yesterday.
Just the whole weight cutting thing, man. I don't want to get into all that again, but the whole weight cutting thing just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Why does it get you so amped up?
Because
they allowed him to do that. Like, I'm pretty sure he told them, they like, "Hey Sam, how much you weigh?" "Hey, I weigh 185. "Okay, we're gonna give you a chance for this fight," or whatever he weighed. What, he weighed 200?
No, he had to hit 185. He cut 36. So do the math. Do the math. And he missed weight by 3 pounds, so he didn't quite.
Well, I'm saying the UFC people do this, so
that's what I'm saying. Like that's not only like the promotion shouldn't be asking guys to cut down much weight in a week. The fighter should never accept. Like that's a bigger problem in the sport in general.
Somebody tell you they'll give you even 100,000 that you weren't gonna make 1 week ago.
That's the problem with the sport. We're supposed to be professional athletes here. Hey, you got to cut 36 pounds in a week, or you're not getting paid. Like that just doesn't make any sense to me, man. Like you're literally asking people to damn near kill themselves to get inside the cage.
I see what you're saying, but like I can't sit there and say they shouldn't take it. Hey,
they shouldn't.
I'm gonna make 100,000 offer. If I get 20% of my purse, I'm gonna make 80,000 that I didn't plan on making. That's Christmas presents for my family. Christmas money right there.
What's the Christmas present gonna be like when your dad dies in next year? Because you try to cut 36 pounds in a week. I'm being serious, man. Like it gets so stupid. It's very irresponsible of the promotions. The fighters, the managers, coaches, they all got to stand up, man. Make sure this kind of shit doesn't happen again. So,
my man here is hyped.
I'm serious. It's stupid. It's so stupid on so many levels. But I don't want to get too much more worked up about that. Bellator had a card this past weekend, headlined by Gegard Mousasi and against Alexander Shlemenko. Hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. Mousasi got his eye jacked up bad in the first round to where he felt, it seemed like he felt like he had to finish the fight in the first round because he was worried about his eye. But couldn't get the finish, and it was just a hell of a fight. But, you know, I honestly didn't score the fight for Mousasi. It was a close fight. Mousasi clearly won the first round. Shlemenko clearly won the third round. Came down to that middle third round, which, again, Bellator is still stuck on that main event 3-rounder. In which Scott Coker said something after the fight where he was like, you know, if we go to the 5-round thing, we can't go back from it. And everybody's like, that's the point. make all your main events 5 rounds, you know. But you know,
it's Bellator. Like,
it's Bellator. You don't care.
It's not that I don't care, but it's like people gotta A, go outside the box. B, I don't want to say take one for the team. Check their ego if anybody remotely is going to compete against UFC, because it's kind of how WWE's going. Like all these independents and stuff are paying these people and getting them, like, people are like, hey, Benjamin, hey, here's that contract. You won't get people to be like that. Like Bellator had a little momentum early this year, late last year, around this time last year. Mm-hmm. It's kind of settled down now because like they got these fighters, but they don't know what to do with them. Or they got people that they pay for, and the guy feels he's got to perform, but he's not at his best, and he don't look the same. And it kind of like somebody mentioned Henderson, perfect example. I'm not saying he's ruining his legacy, but he don't look as great as he was. At one time, he legitimately could have been one of the top 10. His resume is top 10 of all time at one time, and now it's like he was a good fighter. He's a Hall of Fame caliber fighter, but his greatness has got diminished completely by fighting not 100%. Because at the end of the day, you put your name on the line. You let that door close and you fought. So, yeah, that's all I got to go on. So your greatness has gotten diminished because you feel obligated for this and that from a business standpoint instead of doing what you got to do.
I'd like to.
I don't blame nobody. You got to get paid. Like I said, they take you tomorrow. Hey, man, you got to lose 36 pounds. But we're going to get you 6 figures. You going to be going to 24/7 Castle Hills tomorrow.
No, honestly, I'm not. I'm serious. For one, like, seriously, like, I'm not. I'm being like, look, if y'all want to do business with me that bad, if you want to do business with me that bad, then guess what? We're going to have to do it this
is like a once in a lifetime shot. You ain't never made this money.
Oh, well, I guess I missed it. Only got one shot. Shoot, sorry. Not going to happen this time. I'll wait for that next shot to come around. I'm serious. I'm not going to kill myself for a paycheck, man. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like that's just my mentality on.
One time I said, "This is the first and last time you gotta do this."
Nope. Sorry. You want me to cut 36
pounds?
Scott
Coker, call him tomorrow and test this theory out.
Call me. Call me. Seriously, UFC. You know, hey, we've had journalists fight before. Throw me up there. You know, listen. I'm not taking a fight on a week's notice and I gotta get cut 36 pounds. Me right now, I weigh about probably 190 is what I weigh right now.
So you certified welterweight?
I'm just saying, like, when I was training, like, hardcore, back when I was actually training, you know, in the gym with other fighters and helping them prepare for their fights and stuff, I was walking around at like 175, and that's like not cutting weight. Me being slightly more of a lazy, you know, I kind of bulked up, you know, eating a little bit more, not working out, you know, twice a day. But, yeah, that's like saying, hey, I need you to make 155 by Friday of next week. Like, what?
Right.
That's just madness, man. That is madness. I need you to make lightweight. Again, like, killing yourself at the scale is so stupid, man. It's so stupid. But, yeah. Anyways, Bellator, they had their fight. Heather Hardy lost. She didn't look good at all, and we got to remember, like, Heather Hardy is like one of the 2 people they try to push hard at this at the NYC pay-per-view. Heather Hardy, and then Christina
Hardy
Williams.
lost, and then whatchamacallit, she lost too.
Pico lost. She won. I mean, Heather Hardy won, but a lot of people don't remember Heather Hardy got worked in that first round before she finally turned it on and was like, oh, you know, I can find some success doing this. But Heather Hardy looked terrible against Christina Williams, and on the flip side, Christina Williams looked damn good. So maybe she'll steal that thunder from Heather Hardy and see how it works out for her. But you know,
there was nothing in that beat Jazz. I'm actually more interested in not even really necessarily the card, but the UFC fight, like the switch gears and move ahead this weekend just to see, because there's a big demographic that's people are narrative that's changing. Remember when when you start watching UFC, first fight I watched, I think I've told you this before. I don't know, 67 or 71, Chuck Liddell and Rampage. I know nothing except for this crazy looking brother with a chain on his neck was fighting this white dude. Everybody said that was been knocking out people. I'm like, the brother gonna win. Yeah. Dude's like, I'll pay your whole meal. I know nothing about Rampage. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. 5 minutes later, I got people I never seen before falling out. Rampage that did the quote unquote unthinkable at the time, and I got my meal paid. Good thing I don't drink. I would have free alcohol that night. I didn't know nothing about UFC. That was the first fight I watched and got onto it. But one thing I noticed was all these Brazilian dudes be whooping out. Like, damn, this ain't for Americans. And like I know this fights in Brazil coming up.
Area, yeah.
Huh? But like now, the game has changed, and these Brazilians, like, yeah, they got jiu-jitsu, but 90% of them are lacking, have a big hole noticeable via their striking, via their wrestling, or something. Look at David Maya. He top jiu-jitsu guy of all time, basically, or at least in the smaller weight classes. Got a major hole in his game. Can't throw hands.
Well, yeah. I mean, Damian Maya is an example of a guy that's like he is jiu-jitsu. You know.
I'm saying though, a lot of these, it's like the game is passing up these Brazilians. They haven't adjusted. I mean, like every now and then you catch some special ones. Yeah. I'm not trying to say there's not, but there's less special ones than there were coming out like even 5 years ago.
Yeah, pre USADA era. Brazil ran the world. They did. They really did.
Yeah, I was gonna go. He said me.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I mean, you see physical differences, like it's visual. Like the evidence is there, man. Like even though some of these guys got away with it, I mean, here's what it is. Post USADA era, there had been a lot less Brazilians at the top of the game. That's just facts. So, take that for what you want to take it. But
here's completely left. We ain't talked about this. What do you think about a Cyborg and Holly Holm? I passed three tests. Why ain't they tested this broad? Holly Holm busts a video and she don't talk shit at all. I just wasted a minute of my life. I hope y'all enjoy it. But yeah, I've been tested 9 times to your age. Shut up, bitch.
I tweeted.
That was funny. You don't want to be on social media all the time. I had to catch that one that day. I don't know why I was on there. I was just kind of like chilling.
Did you
followed all that.
You saw my tweet. I said Holly Holm delivered the most polite bitch sit downs in the history of bitch sit downs, and she did. She just did it. She was like, I don't like. This is the most calm, polite way to say you don't know what you're talking about. And Holly Holm is just Holly Holm. Like, I hope she can find a way to get another title wrapped around her waist, because she feels like that championship type fighter when I think about a fighter. You
think she can beat Cyborg?
Yeah, I think she can beat Cyborg. I do. I think she.
Because her wrestling skills are suspect.
Yeah, I mean,
I will say this: Cyborg don't want to stay in the trade where Cyborg will have to take her down and then
she's gonna try to. Yeah, she's gonna try to.
Because she's confident.
But I think that's where we'll see Holly really shine, because even though she had Ronda rocked, Ronda tried to get her to the ground and couldn't do it.
I will say this though, Ronda was if you look at it right before when she hip tossed Ronda's elbow, the technical point of view was like a little bit in. She could have easily got that fight to the ground and easily finished it. And another thing too, for that not because I like me some Ronda, but people realize the reason she threw the heck hit on Ronda is because Ronda, although she was rock, was eating us lunches. She's like, "Oh, you didn't want to fall, do you?" Bam, and that's what she wrote.
I get.
That's why she threw that kick because she had to, because she ain't going nowhere.
No, Ronda doesn't go out. She takes punishment, man. That's why
she threw that head kick. That's took off the lights.
That's why Big John had to save her life against Amanda Nunes, because she doesn't go down. She'll just take punishment, man. But yeah, I think it'll be a good fight though, for sure. But yeah, definitely Holly got Cyborg on social media in a very, very respectful, polite way. Most polite bitch sit down in the history of bitch sit downs.
Do you think what would that put Holly at in UFC history of women's MMA?
Oh,
because even though she beat Ronda, she's not right now. Nobody can top that. Well, somebody can top that resume, but it'll take a longevity like a JJ type thing.
I think it'll
like right now. JJ's the only person that can top Ronda's resume.
She's definitely top
5 for sure.
Definitely top 5. I was gonna say definitely top 3, maybe 4, probably 4.
Who be ahead of her besides JJ and Ronda?
I mean, if you're talking about all women, regardless of promotion, then you gotta slide Cyborg in there. So,
yeah, but really though, as a man, you know, I like me some Cyborg. Cyborg, who's she really been beating though?
Anybody? I mean, she can only fight who's in front of her.
Yeah, I would put Holly over a Cyborg. Because you got the 2-division champ. Yeah, I know it's just brand new. You got a 2-division champ, and she beat Ronda and Cyborg. You know, she ain't kissing either one of them in their prime. Well, she got Ronda in her prime.
Maybe. Possibly.
I'll put her ahead of Cyborg if she beats her. I won't put her ahead of Ronda. Because we ain't going to never see male or female people whooping motherfuckers in a minute. 6 times in a row. Like, okay, it happened once. Oh, she ain't fighting nobody. You doing it 6 times. And to people that it hasn't happened before, hadn't happened since too.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. That's not happening for sure.
They've never seen that. So when people want to talk about the way Ronda's career ended, you can't just overlook that big fact.
Yeah, no, it's true. We'll see. Sound off. Let us know on what you think. If you have a top 5,
slide to some of the podcast DMs. You had them open on Twitter
for sure. At Slip and Dip Podcast on Twitter. Hit us up. Let us know what are your top 5. Your top 5
women's fighters.
I was gonna say WMMA. Yes, women's fighters. Let us know. So yeah, let's while you think on that, hit us up on the Twitter sphere. Let us know. We're gonna get into our interview now with Trevor. We're about 20 minutes in. Trevor talks about a lot of stuff. You guys are really gonna enjoy this interview as he prepares to bring Rose Namajunas to the cage against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, number 2 on our list. So we'll see if Rose can possibly crack that top 5 coming up soon.
Got a lot of work to do.
Got a lot of work to do, but without further ado, here's Mr. Trevor Wittman. Enjoy.
Join us today on the Slip and Dip Podcast. For the 6th week in a row, we got a guest. This week's guest is world-renowned MMA trainer Trevor Wittman, head trainer for Rose Namajunas, Justin Gaethje, and a host of others. What's up, Trevor? Thank you for coming to the show. Welcome. And what y'all been doing to get ready for Joanna Jędrzejczyk for UFC 217?
Well, first off, I appreciate you guys having me on, and we're just preparing. It's a huge opportunity, and there's nothing like fighting a girl who is at that level. I mean, to me, I look at these types of scenarios as it's a win-win in any type of scenario, but fighting the best in the world, you fight technical girls or the technical athlete. And with Joanna being so technical, I mean, we're really, really excited for this fight because fighting people who just come out and fight is one thing. Yeah, it might be on lead, they might throw some awkward stuff. Joanna's about as technical as they come, and I really feel like that will help Rose shine. And right now, the way Rose is looking, I'm really looking forward to this opportunity.
You got a boxing background, and me and Matt are one of the few people that cover UFC and boxing. Would it be safe to say that Joanna was basically the female version of Vasily Lomachenko, the great pound-for-pound boxer in boxing right now, as far as where her footwork and her feints go? Because nobody in MMA is doing that, male or female, really.
You know, it's I agree. I think she's a top-level striker, and definitely in the women's all divisions. But I don't know about Lomachenko. I think stylistically they're completely different. Lomachenko is one of those guys that'll stick to you like a magnet. Always have that certain angle to you. Where I feel like Joanna is a girl who knows her range, but plays that in and out. where she'll pop shots, and then once she starts to break you down, then she'll start to walk in a little bit, where Lomachenko almost takes like a back and just makes you play defense. So it's she is by far the most talented and skilled striker out there. But the one thing she has on Lomachenko is she puts the full package together when it comes to kicks and everything else. So she's got great clinch. She's been so dominant on stuffing takedowns. I mean, she's a full package.
And I guess like the biggest knock on Rose, you know, in the past has been, you know, the mental game on her, and you know, that early in her career she was having issues, you know, not necessarily staying focused, but you know, when things got tough, you know, we saw Rose kind of break down a little bit. So can you just kind of speak on how, like her growth mentally as a fighter over the years, and where she's at preparing to take on, you know, the toughest fighter in the division?
You know, Rose has grown so much in the mental department. The best thing about Rose is she's completely honest about everything that goes on. Dealing with a lot of athletes, when you deal with a lot of guys are very proud, and it's hard for them to cry and let things out and let you know exactly what's going on. I mean, she lets me know everything that's going on. So for me, one of my favorite parts is the mental side. So I get to adapt and help her counter those odds and start to train the mindset on how do you get rid of doubt, and how do you get in that mode of faith instead of fear, and how do you be able to face your fears without bringing that negative weight on your shoulders. And that's been one of the funnest processes with working with Rose. When it comes to a mindset, I feel like I got lost in teaching lots of techniques with guys, because again, a lot of the guys I worked with were high level. She was very new, and something stands out to me is when she fought Carla Esparza. You know, I take 100% credit to that loss. You know, I didn't plan any beat without it being a 5-rounder. And many people will say, well, that doesn't really make too much difference. And then, you know, I can agree with that. But Rose only had 3 fights going into that. So I really felt like she went out there and threw something like, you know, 20 kicks in the first round. Her pace that she was hitting, it was almost like she was going out there for the kill. And being such a good finisher, me seeing her finisher, the 3 girls on The Ultimate Fighter, all 3 of them she faced, me as a coach almost got that hey, we can finish this girl instead of that round by round, slowly breaking someone down and making sure you're winning every spot of the round. So being able to focus on what we need to do in the mindset, we need to clearly draw a task at hand type of game plan for Rose, and then also help her strategize on how does she see it happening. So that's been a fun process for me.
Absolutely, and we know Rose can definitely go into deep waters. You know, like, as we were kind of mentioning a minute ago, you know, that fight against Paige where, you know, she was largely dominating that fight from bell to whistle, and then just the fact that she couldn't get a finish time and time again. But we saw her, you know, really stay calm and stay collected, keep her mind focused on what she had to do. So I think it's going to be really important going into this fight to have that same sort of calm and patience, you know, because we've seen Joanna do the same thing. Joanna's been in deep waters as well, and she's emerged. I guess that fight against Claudia was a big one. I think it was the second one where Claudia was winning the first couple of rounds, and then we saw Johanna turn it up in the championship round. So I think, you know, this is a fight for me that I think I could see it going into the later rounds, and I think it's going to be who shines in the last couple of rounds. Would you agree?
Oh, completely. And Joanna has done very well in those 5-round fights. She's done 5 rounds many times, so she's definitely got the advantage in that area through experience. So again, the key to this is it's a positional fight, and we've got to win positions, and we've got to know how to create momentum. So momentum is so big in any type of sport you look at. Once momentum is created, it's hard to change that. So again, that's a key thing to us, is how do we create momentum, and how do we dominate positions and keep it fundamental in that sense.
Trevor, what do you said? We know you're a mental coach. What do you do to get Rose ready for such a big stage? Not that she hasn't been on before, but like it's like another day at the office for Joanna, and she kind of looks at MSG as her American backyard. So how do you deal with that when you're dealing with a champion that's ultra confident and they're in very comfortable surroundings?
You have to install that daily. The mindset and the visualization going into something is you've got to be able to feel and taste everything that's going on, and that is a huge part of going into a huge fight like this. So she's got to be able to go home nightly, accept the challenge, don't run from it or allow doubt to come in, and see what goes on, and then also prepare for obstacles. When this happens, how are you going to deal with it? If this happens, how are you going to deal with that? And not so much in a technical sense, but when it comes to your breathing, how are you reacting to those situations? So again, putting yourself in those type of scenarios consistently is the only way you can train for such a high-level fight if you have not been in such a high-level fight before.
Absolutely. Speaking of high-level fights and fighters that you train as well, Justin Gaethje's another guy who's got a big fight coming up. So what's his preparation been like for that one?
Gaethje's the same thing every day. He is, we adjust when we peak and stuff like that, but Justin Gaethje, man, he's one of the hardest workers out there. And speaking of mindset, he's one of the guys that I don't have to ever work any psychology with. He knows his purpose, and he's so simple about everything he does. When it comes to belts and being a world champion, yeah, there's no doubt that he wants to be a world champion, but that's not his main purpose. His main purpose is to be remembered as the most exciting fighter out there. And I think he, pretty much writes the story on his purpose every time he fights.
Yeah, I remember I did an interview with Justin a while back, and it was just amazing how, you would think, like, a lot of fighters that you speak to, they always talk about that gold belt, want to be a champion. Yeah, I got that vibe completely that he doesn't care about any of that. He just wants to go out there and really put on a show for people. So that's it's pretty funny to actually hear that, being confirmed from you.
He's had some scenarios after a fight where he was upset and almost, I want to say angry, but just annoyed. And the last thing that he wants in a fight is someone that doesn't fight back. And that irritates him. He wants someone, like he says it all the time, which people think it's crazy. I actually think it's a great mindset to be in, because if you're okay with it, the worst part of the outcome, you lack hesitation. And he always says, man, I'm waiting for the guy who's going to knock me out, and I can't wait to get knocked out. And I truly believe he feels that. Like, he does not fear it. The more he gets hit, the more he enjoys it. He really, really enjoys that violent storm, that part of drowning without drowning, and seeing who has more. He strives on that.
Let me ask you this: since he fights in such a, that violent, always forward manner, like, what does his training sessions look like? Are they anything remotely like his fights?
Oh yeah, like shooting hits and doing all types of things. It sucks for me. When it comes to training and sparring, I cater to the sparring a lot, and we don't spar, 3 times a week like you'll see some people. I mean, we cater to times of sparring, and I only bring it in towards when we're peaking. But he's the type of guy that tech sparring is hard for him in a mindset, because he always wants to get his high heart rate up there so he can make the correct decisions. So I just make sure that we have fresh people, and making sure that we're not overdoing it, because he's the type of guy who will work his ass off and overwork it.
Trevor, do you think that style's conducive to being a long-reigning dominant champion? Because as we know in the combat sports game, getting hit is not cool.
That's the key. The key is, what are they fighting for, and why do they fight? And if he was like, hey Trevor, I want to fight till I'm 38, and I want to be able to hold the belt stylistically, I'd be teaching them totally different. But he's like, man, I got a 5-year in my prime type of outlook, and I don't want to fight into my mid-30s. So, or past his mid-30s. And he wants to go out there and, again, be remembered as the most entertaining fighter out there. And I think he's got a very simple purpose when it comes to that. And that type of style gets you paid. So whether you want to take 40 fights and take, an average of punches, or do you want to go out there and meet the punch with your forehead and break people down and do it for a shorter period of time? I mean, to me, it's longevity as a fighter. The distance will be longer with everybody, but in the long term, you always take punches, so you're always going to feel the effect later in life. But with him going out there and taking chances, I feel like he has this set to him that hesitation, I feel like, hurts a lot of people, and his lack of hesitation is what makes him who he is.
Do you think after watching him get beat this week, do you think Gaethje has a chance to be a better version of Cowboy Cerrone? A more mentally tough version?
Cowboy's a sharpshooter. He's the guy that will pick you apart, kind of walk you down, and kind of stand there in front of you. No, I feel like Gaethje breaks people. I feel like Gaethje retired. He's one of those guys that when you fight him, you want to change weight classes, you want to change everything in your arsenal. So, no, I don't think stylistically alike.
No, not stylistic. Just in that mentality and that connection with the fans. Everybody want to see him fight like everybody. He's must see TV.
Like yeah, fans please him. I mean, that's Cal was the knockout artist. You know, I almost feel like Gaethje's always complaining he doesn't get knockouts and gets people to quit. And Donald's different. Donald's one of those guys that gets just those sharp shots, but the fans love him. He's real. And I think that's what a lot of people are looking for in this fight game is Wes to act more real. More talking with the energy that you're bringing in that cage instead of afterwards with fire. I mean, selling the fight is key, and I think that's one of the key components to like a guy like McGregor. But again, there's nothing worse than seeing people stalemate each other inside that cage, and that's what people come to watch.
Absolutely.
So I think it's easy for the fans to like those styles.
For sure. I mean, we kind of touched on, one of the things that, can affect a fighter's career a second ago when we were talking about, taking too many shots to the head and things like that. But I want to get your idea on weight cutting. And, it's one of the hot button issues right now. If you look at what happened just this past week, we saw Sam Alvey take a fight on a week's notice and cut 36 pounds, still miss weight, show up on fight night and look absolutely terrible. So, I mean, what's your take on, severe weight cutting, and do you see a way that we can change it?
It's you got the internal and you got the external. Internal meaning who's the people around the fighters, external being the rules. What is being done to help the situation. And no matter what is going on with what rules the commission comes up with, or what state comes up with it, or even the organization, the UFC, the organization starts coming up with rules, people are going to find ways to break it or slip by it. So there's many different ways of doing that, but I think it's more on the sense of understanding what's the most dangerous part to this game, and to me is not being able to perform at your highest level and then going out there with lacking the fuel that's needed to perform at a high level. It comes from the coaches, it comes from the teams, it comes from the people who are involved with this person. And if you look at the consistent depth in MMA, most of them have come from some type of weight cutting issue. And that's a huge issue. I mean, if you're dying from weight cutting, what are you worried about in the fight? I think it comes to that internal sense. I use it on I'm just thinking as a fundamental stance. If you were in the desert for 5 days and you're lost in the desert, you can't find your way back, you can't find nothing to drink, you're out there, you're about to die, and all the secret helicopters come flying up, and it lands, and your promoter jumps out and says, "Oh my God, thank God, there you are. I thought we were going to have to cancel the fight." And picks you up, puts you in that helicopter, and flies back to the casino to go fight. That is typically what's happening in these weight cuts. And for anybody who's involved with people cutting tons of weight, how do you not see that being an issue? And if someone ends up dying or passing away from those types of issues, who's gonna stand up and take fault for that? So I think that is, again, it comes from that internal sense of what's right, what's wrong. People that want to cut 20, 30 pounds, pros and cons. Yeah, you're gonna be stronger, you're gonna be bigger, but again, I mean, look what you're doing to your body prior. So you're fighting. You're in a tournament because you're fighting prior to fighting.
Right.
So I look at it as I think it's crazy. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
Trevor, do you have anybody hitting you up to train them to get ready for that women's 125-pound division that seems to be the next premier division for women's MMA?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of the Ultimate Fighter that wanted to come out and train. And we opened them up to the gym that I sold grudge to Genesis, and told them that they feel free on coming out, but I don't have the time to take on any athletes. I'm sticking to 4 athletes at the moment, and sticking to the goals that I have in front of me as building equipment. So it doesn't matter who comes up and asks me. I'm not going to take on anything. And one thing that really stood out to me, I talked about the college part of the fight with pros. I was coaching a team of about 45 athletes at one point when I had grudge, and there was an interview that I did, and someone had asked me about one of my 155-pounders and asked me about the game plan, and I was in my head, I was like, I thought my other guy was fighting him. And when you start to have that much going on, I wasn't able to give 100% to everybody. So, coaching 4 athletes has really, really been fun for me, and it allows me to get the time with mentally and physically, and do outside of just your hour practice with them or whatever it is per day that you're doing. I mean, the phone calls and all the time that goes into coaching someone. Coaching 4 is a great, I would say the perfect amount for where I want to be as a coach.
That's awesome. Can you also kind of speak on a little bit about, you kind of touched on it there a minute ago, but, you know, your equipment line that you've got, you know, how did that whole start, and, you know, who are some of the athletes that are wearing your gear?
So Onyx, I created Onyx Sports. It's funny, I started cutting mitts open a long time ago. When I sold Grudge back in November, I was taking pictures down off the wall, and I noticed a picture of me and Vernon Phillips, a former WBO, IBF, and WBO champion in boxing. And I had Reyes mitts on, and my Timberland boot laces were on the mitts. And man, so back in 2003 is when I started cutting mitts open and refoaming them. So I go get different foams and try, because just that hard foam has never really worked on my joint. So I've been kind of messing with equipment for a long period of time, but fighters would ask me questions on what glove they should get, and I just never could answer it. I never really liked gloves. Reyes was the glove that I loved growing up to the boxing days, but that was the fight glove, it wasn't the training glove. And when it comes to mitts and equipment out there, I mean, just let me ask you this basic question. Why is there not a left and a right mitt? That makes no sense to me. The left hand and the right hand are so different. But why are companies just saying, hey, here's two of the same mitt, put them on whatever hand you want, break them into that? I mean, it's just, to me, with the speed of what the sport is growing, how is the technology not changing? How are we not creating new patterns? The last great technology that was created on a boxing glove would be attached thumb. Muhammad Ali used to be able to give a thumbs up after his fights, but they attached the thumb, and that's the latest new technology that's been created. So to me, it's crazy. If you looked at NFL, the guys were still wearing leather helmets. I mean, the sport has grown so much. You imagine those big 300-pound guys hitting each other with a leather helmet on. It's just, again, people have this. Dana White comes out and says it all the time. Oh, there's science behind training, and he's so right when he's talking about the coaches on being smart and how do you train your athletes, and how are all these guys pulling out prior to fights because of injury. And he's 100% right. But I also think he's missing a perspective. Is the lack of technology that's going into where's the science of the equipment?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to me. How are we still weighing, measuring the glove size just by ounce? You know, it's like, oh, it's one size fit all, but it's a 16 ounce.
Now, I've seen on your Twitter, you know, you have the boxing gloves. Is it just boxing gloves, or is there MMA mitts as well, or is it like a whole line?
Yeah, I've been testing all sorts of equipment. Yeah, we'll have a full line, but right now I've got 2 packs that I'm focused on. The number one injuries that I see in training is hand injuries, and so I'm really focused on getting the gloves out there. And most people in all combat sports, if you're using boxing, kickboxing, it's martial arts, are using gloves. So I'm starting with the most fundamental tool out there. Also, hand wraps is a huge issue. I feel like hand wraps cause a lot of injuries if you don't know how to wrap your hand correctly. So I created a glove that doesn't need a hand wrap, but the supporting is inside of the glove, and the strapping is all the way internal throughout, so you can adjust sizing and support. And you shouldn't have to put on extra knuckle pad if you have the correct foam in your gloves. So just those little senses there. But I mean, I've got all sorts of stuff from headgears to shin guards and all sorts of pieces that I've been testing for the last 2 or 3 years. It's just picking what stage those come out.
Very cool.
Trevor, I know you're a fan of the sport. How excited are you to be on that big stage in just a matter of a week and a half at UFC 217 and MSG, the second pay-per-view ever at the Garden?
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun. We got to go there with Justin, but it was a smaller one. I've been to the smaller one like 4 or 5 times in boxing, so it's the little... the
theater.
Which is all, I tell you, it's one of the best environments ever. Even just being in that little theater, the way it's set up and the noise and sound. But just being in the heart of New York right there, it's such a cool thing with some of the biggest fights in the world going on in that venue. I mean, it's a culture thing, so I'm super excited.
And there's something special to watching a fight in a smaller venue. You know how like at the Cosmo when Paige fought Rose there's something special about watching a fight in a small arena like that. You know, yeah, I wish it was something like.
You feel it.
I wish there was some way we could make that happen more, like with UFC fights and higher level fights. There's something special about it. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. And then it's cool. It's like you almost feel like you're attached to the crowd. But there's times where, like there was a fight that we were in Brazil, and I forget what part of Brazil it was. We were in a soccer stadium that they held like 60 or something, 60,000. It was crazy. Like I walked down, I mean, you could feel the energy from the people. It was crazy. That was cool.
That's awesome. Kid, got anything else for Trevor?
Man, definitely. We appreciate you coming on the show, man. Looking forward to hooking up with you on Fight Week, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you. Yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
For sure, Trevor, man. I appreciate you coming on the Slipping Dip podcast. Where can the people find you on social media, on Twitter and Instagram, if you got one?
So Instagram is Otter Sports. Twitter is Trevor Wittman, Wittman. Facebook, Trevor Wittman. And if you're looking for gear, Otter Sports on all three of those.
Beautiful. Thank you for bearing with us through our technical issues. For those out there listening, this is our second run through of this interview. So, Trevor, appreciate your patience.
You prepped me, so I felt better the second one. Now you guys got me all warmed up.
Hey, maybe if I can get the file recovered, we'll throw it out there as like the lost interview or something at some point. So, again, we'll let you enjoy the rest of your night, watch some football, whatever you got going on. We're gonna get on out of here, man. I appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a great night. I'll see you here in a couple weeks.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Thank you once again, Trevor Wittman, for joining us on Slipping Dip Podcast. Hell of an interview. I love this dude's mindset on a lot of things, man, and his preparation for Rose, or getting Rose ready for JJ, man.
I'm ready for that technical war, man.
Yeah.
I got calls tomorrow to PBC. I'm still trying to see with Deontay Wilder how I'm going to do that, because I have to see. There's going to be third, right? Out of the 3 title fights, I know it's going to be second or third. I know it's not going to be the main event, of course. DSP and then who?
They're second.
They're second?
No. They're third because they have Cody CJ.
Okay. I have to see all title fights. If I just walk up in the Madison Square Garden and Joanna's little Polish rap Sunday, I'm good to go. I just watch those 3 fights and I'm going to be a happy camper.
Yeah, man.
I just want to see those title fights. I don't think she has no advantages over JJ. Even skill-wise, mentally wise, and a lot of people don't realize
she's got a better jiu-jitsu game for sure. For sure,
Yeah.
she's definitely got a better jiu-jitsu game. So if she can get some fight to the ground and keep it there, as we see Joanna's, she's really improved on her takedown defense and
can she take it down? I don't know.
That's the thing. If she can do that,
because Jessica Jaws couldn't, I don't see how Rose is going to.
Right.
Like she might sweep her and she get back up. I can say she's not gonna take her down, period. But as far as taking her down, controlling her like she did, what's it called, Michelle Watterson, don't see it happen.
So the difference between those two is like Andrade and Claudia, they're like powerful grapplers that are like really like they're like more control, like power control on the ground, whereas like they're gonna try to get you off the mat and like slam you down and then try to transition and stuff. Rose has that different type of grappling where she just sticks to you like a little monkey, you know what I'm saying? Like she will attach to you, and like if she can get your back in any sort of way, good luck getting her off, So, like, if you want an example of that, watch that fight with Paige Van Zandt. Like, the way she's like stuck.
Like a tree. She's like a pit bull David Maya in that fight.
Yeah, like, and she rolls with transitions. Like, she just does everything to, like, stick to you like glue, man. So, if she can find a way to do that, then it'll be really, really
Besides the mental game, another weakness, not to poke holes in her game, but the hole is there. As you know me, well, I say all the time, nothing cool about getting hit.
Oh, no.
She doesn't like to get hit, and it physically shows. Prime example, in the male side, Brock Lesnar, it physically shows. Like when he fought Cain Velasquez, you can tell she kind of has that in her, where because nobody likes to get hit, but you can't let your opponent not know that. So JJ goes off and gets that warm up how she do, like in the second or third round, to start throwing kicks and throwing 2-piece combinations, and you going on like this. I'm gonna count you out right there. You can't. You got to kind of have that poker. Like Carolina, her little psycho killer face caught her slipping. Had her shot to shock the one in the 4th round because JJ got comfortable and boom, caught her with something. Where if you sitting there doing this and freaking out, JJ is gonna be comfortable and know, oh, I got you. Match over with.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
But you know what I'm talking about? Or
I hear
her outwardly shows when she gets hit.
I hear you, but I don't know. I mean, Johanna, she's outstruck everybody. You know, she's clearly the best striker in the whole division. Probably
But she's
in all
getting
the
more
women's
wounded,
event.
though. It's not just her strike. I got very impressed.
No, yeah, I agree.
Like
Like, she's
213,
improved.
to
Yeah, I've been
213.
saying that.
If you didn't like her at 213, you ain't an MMA fan. That was like the most flawless performance I've seen a lady put on. And then the fact that Jessica did what she did to Cordelia just 3-4 months later, make it look even better. Like, was that the same chick I saw in May with JJ looking?
We'll see, man. We'll see. It's gonna be a damn good fight, though. I think.
I don't think so.
Like I said, you know, like Trevor was kind of saying, you know,
50,
he thinks it's gonna be
50,
like in the
46.
4th and 5th round.
49-46. All right, tell you the score right now. 49-46. And still.
I can't say I would disagree, but I'm just gonna say I think it's gonna be a damn good fight. So we'll see how it goes down on November 4th at 217. And again, with those other 2 title fights, like you say, you'll be there. Be able to get
He said, I'm not missing UFC, the title fights. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, you'll be there, man. Be there for sure.
I couldn't tell you. I still don't know I'm a guy TJ and Cody, man. I'll let you know. I've been putting some thought in. I'm gonna think about more this week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a damn good fight. Like I said, like I said last episode, man. I don't think you can accurately predict a winner on this one. I guess as coin flips get, man, right down the middle. I mean, I guess the only one thing that would make me lean towards TJ is that TJ isn't coming off of back surgery, so you know that's really it.
But he's the younger, but Cody is the younger fighter though.
Still, I don't think that matters here. But we'll see, man. It'll be a close fight, and of course the main event. I'm still leaning, slight lean towards Bisping, but you know we got a card before that coming up. This one coming up this weekend, actually. Derek Brunson against Lyoto the Dragon Machida, making his long-awaited return. So, how you feeling about this one?
I think Brunson should get him. Machida, how old is he now? Like, he's got to be damn near 40.
He's up there in age. I don't know the correct answer to that question.
He's
So,
39.
let's use the power of the internet.
Yeah,
He's 39?
He's 39 years old. So he's 39 years old.
Yeah.
He ain't fighting over 2 years, and he's fighting a guy that's very hungry. And he's coming off for 2 losses. He hadn't won since 2014 against CB Dollaway.
Brunson's 33, though, so he's not exactly, you know, a spring chicken.
He's not spring chicken, but he's been fighting like a spring chicken now.
Has he? Has he?
Has
he? That fight against Anderson Silva, he didn't look very good.
He got overwhelmed at the moment. He's not. I'm going with Brunson for the simple fact he's been more active. He's more adjusted to the new MMA game. I think the game is passed by Machida, like he was saying earlier. Another Brazilian fighter that hasn't been the same since USADA came to town.
I think he's a little bit.
Look when his demise started happening.
I will
when
think
his demise started happening.
I will think Derek.
And he's got flagged by USADA too. So we got all kinds of flags all over the place.
Hey,
the fact that we hadn't seen him in over a year and a half. That's how many flags we got waiting.
I'm just saying. I don't want to associate Lyoto Machida with cheating. I like the guy too much, so I refuse to do it.
But tell me this though, in general, why people like people are tired of John. Like people basically gave him a pass the first time.
Yeah.
You know, Anderson Silva, my favorite fighter of all time. But since so many people like Anderson, they give a pass. Nobody talks about that. I think it's crazy because I like certain people, but I'm gonna be fair. At the end of the day, the MFR failed the test.
Yeah,
it was on the list. If it wasn't had nothing to do with enhancement, it would be on the damn list.
But
He tested positive.
It was a different performance enhancement. It wasn't. It wasn't fighting performance enhancement.
Yeah, but yes, it is though. It's a mask. The reason it is because it's a masking agent. It wasn't. It's more of a to hide what he really was doing type thing.
We'll never know. We'll never know the truth.
But my point is, why do people get certain
I
people
refuse
fast?
to pass judgment on Anderson Silva and Lyoto Machida.
People will fail tests.
light.
You got the evidence. Man, he's really a good guy. I would give a pass. Just people in general. I'm not even pointing the finger at you. I just laugh how people are like that when there's somebody that don't like. See, Cyborg, I told you, she been roided up for years. I told you, just because somebody don't like somebody, still just looking at it down the middle. You pass, you fail, you fail. Like Holly Holmes said, she ain't took none of them, she passed them all. She's clean.
Just saying, it pays in many ways to be likable in this sport. So,
yeah, sure do.
You know, so I'll just say.
Hey, we'll give you another failed test. We like you, but don't do it again.
Yeah.
Because like Anderson, technically you can't consider Anderson the GOAT no more. It's like he's in a very great area.
Sure, you can.
Because like he failed the test, but at the same time.
Failed one test.
When he was in his prime, there was no testing, so you can only deal with the rules that you were given.
He failed one test after he broke his leg in the ring. I mean, or in the cage. That's it. That's it.
What the? So tell me this: then, how many tests do you give somebody before you be like, you know what?
I'm saying, you gotta.
This man. What's your boy? DeSanto said this man's a Superman.
No more superheroes anymore.
Yeah,
no.
He was a superhero. He was good.
I don't think Anderson cheated before he tested positive. I don't think that at all. What I do think though is if he did use steroids and when he got caught, I think he did it more so just to get back in there, not necessarily try to gain an edge, because he broke his leg, you know, and that played on his mind pretty heavy. You know, he used to talk about that, but I think that was more so of a thing just to get back in the game, not necessarily to, I'm trying to gain an advantage. You see what I'm saying? I mean, yes, it's still cheating either way. You're not supposed to, accept it, whatever have you. But I don't think he was trying to do it to gain an edge over anybody. So, I mean, I guess you could kind of say, well, if he did take steroids just to get back in there, then that says he's not ready to fight. So, yeah, that's true.
I'm looking at UFC lightweight champion list of all time, and 1, 2, we got Shamrock, we got Ortiz, we got Belfort. We got Forrest Griffin, who failed the test before people forget. Machida, Shogun, John Jones. So 7 of the 12 UFC champions, they got 5 with PEDs. I don't care. I don't care per se. I just laugh how people give certain people a pass and they don't keep it real. University.
I see what you're saying. And it comes down to the character and to the person as well, because a lot of people.
But why though? You cheat.
There's a lot of things that go into it though. I think if you got a guy that walks out there looking chiseled like rocks, and he's like, I've never cheated in my life. Meanwhile, your piss is over there dissolving toilets in the back. Like, are you honest about it? Are you lying about it? Like, which one is it? Like, there's a lot of things that go into it. It's the same thing like we see in baseball. Baseball players, they get that pass too. If they come out and be like, yeah, I took something, shouldn't have done it, I won't do it again. Whereas you got other guys like Mark McGwire and Rafael Palmeiro lying to Congress. It's like, I've never taken steroids in my life, with the point and the super super confident, strong statements behind it. And then it comes out, yeah, you were lying to us. So it's like,
you were lying to us.
Yeah, it's like, hey, everybody makes mistakes, but your character and how you carry yourself around those mistakes are gonna be what people judge you on. So that's what I think it boils down to. But looking at this rest of this card, man, like I said, I'm going with Derek Brunson on the fight. That's where you're going with too.
Yeah.
All right, Colby Covington and Damian Maia. I think this is probably going to be.
Damian Maia by submission.
It's going to be a 15-minute grapple fest, because that's all both of these guys do is grapple.
But Colby Covington's going to lose a position and lose a spot, and that's
I agree. So if Colby can find a way to keep this standing and let his hands go,
that's a
he doesn't have the best striking in the world, but we'll see what happens. Pedro Munoz, Rob Font. That's gonna be a nice little scrap at the 135 division. Any other interesting fights on this card for you? Another FS1 card for you. But yeah,
I'm watching it on DVR.
You watch it on DVR.
I watch the fights because it's the job, but I won't be watching those live.
Yeah, probably my favorite other fight is gonna be this one, John Lineker and Marlon Vera. That's gonna be a scrap.
John Lineker, he said like he's kind of faded off. Like he had the potential to be special, but he eyed.
He's one of those.
He eyed. I'm not saying he can't fight, but he just eyed.
He's that fighter that you always criticize. The getting hit is not cool type dude. He's the guy that just stands there and trades. He doesn't care about getting hit, and that catches up to you. So we'll see how Marlon Vera does on this fight against him. But yeah. I want to talk about one other thing that happened this past weekend out there in Gdansk. When we saw
he fired up off that, boy.
During the Artem Lobov fight, and against Andre Fili. We saw one Mr. Notorious one, Mr. Conor McGregor, get super animated during the fight. And I get it. Artem is his boy and everything, and they train together. They're training partners. They go everywhere together, yada yada. But Conor was not an official corner man for this fight, and during the fight, he walked in. He actually walked in the fight before. There was a fight going on in the cage. All the fans stopped caring about the fight in the cage. They're like, "Oh my God, Conor McGregor's walking in," and Conor is like toasting up his glass to the crowd, yada yada, grabbing the attention, whatever. But Conor is like literally on the cage, or like on the edge of the cage, yelling instructions, being super animated, like doing the whole punch and like he's shadow boxing over there and everything, yelling out instructions to Artem. I've never seen a referee pause a fight to tell somebody outside of the cage to go sit down. Never seen that before in my life. And that was something that happened. Mark Goddard had to pause the fight. It was like...
No, he didn't have to, though.
He didn't have to, but what I'm saying, what he did, he paused the fight, and he was like, "Conor, be professional, go sit down."
Be professional, go sit down.
And then you see Conor like, all right, and then he was still right back up a few seconds later. But
if he wasn't to Conor McGregor, does he say stop it, though? Let's be real.
I mean, honestly, like, if you're not an official cornerman, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, no matter who you are. But I don't know if it gets stopped like that. I mean, we don't ever really see anybody else do that, So it's kind of one of those things where it was like, you always see something new in MMA, and this is one of those things. But Conor also got a lot of flack from people for using a homophobic slur in the backstage when he was trying to console Artem after Artem took the L. And we saw a lot of people.
Artem would not be in the UFC if he wasn't even associated with Conor.
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, he's literally a 50-50 fighter. His record is literally 500. So,
but he walks around like he tough shit too.
Listen, I love Artem. I've talked to Artem many a time.
I say he wasn't a cool dude.
He's cool as hell.
I would say he's a mediocre fighter. Mediocre.
Hey, I agree. His record shows that. So I think his straightforward, hands at the side, I'm gonna get in your face.
He's a Justin Gaethje. You know he's a smaller weight class.
Yes, exactly. He doesn't help the fact that his arms are super short either, and that he doesn't try to defend himself, but it works half the time. So, but I love Artem, man. Artem's cool. He's funny as hell. He's a good dude, but yeah, if he wasn't Conor's boy, I don't think he'd be in the UFC at all. To be clear, so So what else is on your mind, man? Before we get out of here, we got a few more minutes to kill, and then we'll wrap this episode up.
Working on some guests behind the scenes, man. We're trying hard to get Mighty Mouse on. He's gonna work. Cause my goal is to get him on before they close in 2017. So don't know when, but hopefully the GOAT.
Hopefully the GOAT.
The P for P. Band of the year. Who do you think would be Fighter of the Year this year?
Fight of the year?
Fighter and fight.
Wow, that's a good question. I think we still have a couple pay-per-views to figure that out. I think that matters. I'll tell you what. I will form that.
If that's the case, then if Joanna does a craziness to Rose, how does she not get it?
No,
who can get it besides Joanna then, like on the guy side of things? I don't see any guy that's.
I don't know. I'd have to look at how everything's played out this year, man.
Our boy could have been. If Kevin would have got the belt, it would have been hands down.
I need to see how UFC 219 on December 30th is scheduled out. The last event of the year for the UFC. How is that fight scheduled out? Who's going to be on that? There's a lot of events between.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Max Holloway's fighting and
yeah.
So Max Holloway can shut down two legends. I forgot. Yeah, he has a shot too.
He does.
Forgot about Max Holloway. We like us some Max.
Yeah, Max Holloway's a beast, man. There's a lot of good fights still to come. A lot of good fights. A lot of guys that have had a lot of fights this year. So once 219 is filled up, and then we can have the discussion. We'll say that we'll table that discussion for later, for sure. But yeah, man, I think that's about it going on in the world of the MMAs right now. Boxing was kind of quiet this past week. Nothing really noteworthy happened, I don't believe, right? Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything in the boxing world?
Nah. No. All my people are either they're training or they're like outside the country, sitting on that PBC money.
Nice. Yeah. We'll see, man. Yeah. I think that's going to wrap up this episode, man. Trevor Wittman came through, gave us a solid interview for 20 minutes. Twice. 6
weeks in a row, brother. 6 weeks in a row.
Twice. Yeah. No, so yeah, again, like I said at the end of the interview with Trevor earlier, my computer that we're running everything off of literally just shut down in the middle of the interview.
Oh,
he was giving a damn good response to my question about weight cutting, which he fortunately re-answered again in a similar fashion later. But I've never had my computer do that, and it's really important for me to keep it back up while we record. So I'll remember to do that from now on. But yeah, man, thanks again, Trevor Wittman. Best of luck to Rose. Best of luck to Justin Gaethje coming up. And yeah, we'll see how all the madness shakes out. UFC Fight Night, Sao Paulo, Brazil, coming on this Saturday. And I think that's the only other fights that I'll be watching this week. Is there anything else coming up? Any boxing matches?
The Deontay Wilder fight the night of 217, but I'll be talking to some officials behind the scene to get some particulars on who he's fighting. Oh, he's fighting Romain Stavern.
Oh, okay.
Who we might have on the show next week. No.
We'll see. We'll see. Stay tuned, guys.
We're grinding for you.
Fans of the show, please give us a like, subscribe on YouTube, iTunes as well. Follow the show on Twitter at Slipping Dip Podcast. Follow Kendrick on Twitter at Kendrick Johnson. Follow me at Mr. M. Wells Art. And hit us up. Until next time, peace.